My name is Christopher Raeburn. We're here at the Raeburn Lab over in Hackney Central. So I'm a fashion designer. We've been going now for 13 years, studied here in London, and our whole focus is on what we call the 3 Rs. So remade, reduced and recycled. I think as a designer, you have an obligation to design and make products that are going to be thoughtful, kind of considered, and importantly have really good materials that go into them. And then I think ultimately at every stage you have an obligation really to consider what you can do to reduce your impact with the product that you're making. I think what's key for a modern brand today is to think really about the future and where we're going as an industry, making a really cool product that people actually want to wear. But then you also have, I think, a duty to think about, well, how is that product being made? You know, the materials that go into it, and making things properly and that are going to be long lasting. If you can find that right balance, then that's really what I think good design is and ultimately a good brand. And so examples with the Vans partnership here, we're working with recycled GORE-TEX. You know, this is completely innovative new materials that very few people are working with. And that's the cool thing. When you work with others, you can really push through, do new stuff. So again, it's about how you can take the best of your own learning, work with others to really move things forward. Raeburn as a brand, our mission statement is about changing the world through responsible design. So our whole focus is on what we can do to reduce our impact on the environment. And we're all about sort of military functionality, utility, and I guess authenticity is really important. So we have a really extensive archive. In fact, you can see some bits behind me here. Ultimately, it needs to be what you're interested in personally. And so I've always been collecting and building up my own military and utility archive that then has led really naturally into the way that I design. And as the company and the team have grown, it blends everything together really well. I think there's a big conversation around sustainability in general. Brands need to really consider about the impacts that they have, and with it the community that they're educating and inspiring. And I think we live now in a world where you can choose really good recycled materials or organic materials, and so why not? You know, and then if you're designing a really cool product that your customer wants, you're already doing the hard work for them. Within Raeburn, I mean, our future plan really is around how we can continue to evolve to do things that are in circulation for longer. We already offer free repairs for life. How we can do things that are ultimately able to go back to the ground, so thinking natural materials. Or if we are working with synthetics, how again we can make them not just recycled, but recyclable. I think Graduate Fashion Week's incredibly important for obviously press and potentially buyers to see new thinkers, new ways to design. And I think it's absolutely key as a sort of focus. The reason I'm interested to be an ambassador, again, is how I can take some of the learnings, points, mistakes from my own business and make sure others aren't doing it. Ultimately, I think it's really important for brands like Size and Vans to get behind kind of new thinkers, young creatives. It doesn't really matter who these people are. It's about actually giving a platform and an opportunity for new thinking ultimately. Because I think sometimes when you're designing, you can kind of be in your own little bubble, but the moment then, okay, you're working with an industry partner or you're working towards that prize or that platform, it makes it that much more real and relevant, I think. My favourite shoes, the Skate High, and I think the fact we've been able to then bring in the GORE-TEX element, the recycled materials and all of the bonding, so the whole thing then becomes waterproof. It's an amazing kind of innovation, and then bring it to the world of Vans. And I don't think it's a product that would have happened independently for Vans, and certainly not for Raeburn. And that's always a really good sign when you bring two different ways of thinking together to make a unique product. So working with Vans has been a really, really cool project. And actually, what was, I guess, quite unique about this, the whole thing started during one of the lockdowns. And so I was working with the teams in LA, doing digital calls and things, and building out mood boards and showing bits from the Raeburn archive here, and then jamming with the team and working on design all digitally to begin with, and then it came into the physical. So this whole process has been around 18 months or so to bring the footwear to life. It's been a really unique kind of journey, I guess, and now when I look at the final product, I'm really kind of glad and really proud about how everything's come together.